am excited tonight, guys. If you're watching this, if you're catching the replay later, or you're watching it live on Facebook, I honestly, this is probably one of those, I don't know, career achievements for me, Lisa. I've got to be honest. Guys, I listened to Lisa Grossman 14 years ago. I'm sitting with a baby, probably nursing him, watching the top women, most powerful women in network marketing, purchase the online ticket, sitting in my couch watching it. And this woman comes on stage and she tells the best stories with the best wisdom in the most non-hypey way. And it's just matter of fact. And it's all just, my brain went, oh my gosh, this woman is a genius. And I followed her. I learned her trades. I have had very few mentors in my life, and she is one voice. I don't even think she knows how long I've been listening to her. Then, lo and behold, during COVID, the Clubhouse app pops up, and all of us network marketers jump on there. And I find myself sharing not just rooms with Lisa Grossman, but stages with her, and being able to talk to her and being able to have her compliment me when I'm sitting there nervous, going, oh my gosh, Lisa Grossman's listening to me speak. Do I have anything valuable to say? And it's been awesome. In the last 6 months, we've reconnected in such a huge way. And if you don't know her, if you are new in this industry and you're just hearing Lisa Grossman for the first time, I'm so excited for you. If you've been in this industry, you know her name. She's a legend. She's one of, go and just Google the top women in network marketing, guys. She shows up right there. And she is so powerful, but so humble at the same time. I tell my team when I get on the phone with her, I sit there in my notes and I just type away because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so great. Oh my gosh, that's gold. And any second I get with her, my brain is just a sponge. And the friendship that's developing with her, I couldn't be more grateful for, Lisa. We love you. You're a warrior. You're just a powerful legend. And tonight's conversation is going to be a lot of fun. But I want to open up with, because I always share, when you said you went, oh, go ahead. Are
I'm
you
just
okay?
going to grab a pen. I didn't want you to think I was like, 'cause I like take notes myself, and
No,
I
no, that's okay.
have no
That's
pen here.
okay. So I always share that one of the first things I heard you say on stage is the story of your first network marketing meeting that you were invited to. And when you went back to your husband and what you said to him about those people. And I would love for you to retell that story for people who maybe haven't heard
Happy to do it. And
the whole they were uglier than us, they're stupider than us, and they make more money than us. That
they're
was
having a better time.
yeah.
You
That was
know,
stuck with me.
well, the interesting thing about the best stories is they're almost always true and they age well because they're funny in hindsight and they're not so funny when they're happening.
Right.
So my introduction to network marketing was classic. And a good friend calls you, so excited, got to come over and show you something. And she was all over. I know you're gonna love it, but and she started going, I'm gonna make so much money, and I found my calling, and my life is gonna change, and you're not gonna believe it. And when can I come over? And I'm like, oh, come on over. And she showed up, and she started, from my perspective, taking apart my sink. Okay. She was she was like hooking up this thing to my sink. She goes, oh my God, wait till you see this. This is just amazing. I've never had this much fun. And I'm sitting there, so I'm like, you're going to become a plumber? Like, what, this is your $1 million endeavor? No, no, no. You have to believe what this does for the water. And I'm going to loan it to you for a week. And you just got to promise me that I'm going to date myself here, gang, that everything you do with water, you're going to drink it, you're going to give it to the pets. You're going to make your concentrated orange juice with it, because back then we made concentrated orange juice, and you're going to see how much better it tastes. And they did this demonstration where they would turn your water yellow because it had so much, chlorine in it, the tap water. And so like, oh, okay. And, so I use it for a week, and I'm just kind of looking at it, wondering, where the connection is, because because the water did taste, I mean, everything did taste better. The orange juice was better. So she comes back and I said, well, I'll buy one. How much is it? And she says, $179. And I said, well, how much money do you make? And she said, anywhere from $79 to $120. And I'm like, well, that's really good money. How long do they last? She said 3 years. And I'm like, and I said, well, how do you get to you're going to be a millionaire? I mean, that's an awful lot of sinks, that you're hooking this up to. And she said, oh, no. Not only can you share the product like I did with you, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's more than me getting to go to people's houses and take their sinks apart. It's even bigger than that. Oh my God, yeah, you can show them the business. I can invite other people to go take people's sinks apart. Oh, this is really no, you don't you need to get the big picture. I'm like, okay, she gives me a videotape, which was the ancient before the wagons went west version of watching a video online today for those of you who are this dates, because this is over almost 40 years ago now. And we had a thing called a Betamax or a VCR, and you play the tape and the tape was fascinating. It's talking about, um, you may not be familiar, but the bottled water industry is going to be huge. Right now, it may only take up a small shelf in your grocery store, but one day it's going to cover an entire aisle. And we're like, right. Well, it was kind of prophetic.
Right.
And you're watching this and you're going, oh my, okay. And I'm like, but I'm still not connecting the dots. And she said, let me get you on a three-way or she didn't call it that. It was, let me get you on the phone with one of my business partners. And I got on the phone with him and he tells me he was making like $35,000 or $40,000 a month. And I'm still looking at my sink, holding this videotape going, there's got to be more to the story than this. He says, oh, you just need to go to a meeting. So I went to a Tuesday night meeting. And this was 37 years ago, guys. It was not the respectable network marketing was not the respectable thing that not you didn't really want to admit that you did like today. It was the thing that nobody you knew did.
Right.
So I go to this meeting thinking if I see anybody that I know, they'll have to admit they were there to admit they saw me. So this could be safe. Well, there was nobody that I knew there, but there were over 350 people in the room, and it blew my mind. And it was everything you'd ever envision. People, circles here, circles there, circles everywhere, lines to circles. And I didn't really understand it the way it was being explained. I kind of got this idea of how it might work, and it went on for a very long time. And then they explained the product. And other than things tasted better, which I thought they should have left it at that, the more they talked about how it worked, the more confused I became.
Right.
And I'm like, finally, I thought it was over. And as I get up, she's like, oh, no, sit down. You've missed the best part. And I'm like, you mean there's more? Imagine that. I can't even describe how excited I am. This hasn't been going on long enough. And all these people lined up. And I'm like, well, what's going on now? She goes, oh, testimonials. And I was like, this is starting to follow a format that's very similar to something we all do, once a week. And I'm going, okay. So people got up and they started sharing these stories. And Angel's exactly right. What I noticed, it wasn't so much the money that they were making, and they were, but I was already making money. Not by the money standards that I make it today, but I made a very good living at the time. I was over 6 figures a year and, and young, but they were having fun. And they were talking about that they traveled and they were with their friends and they were laughing. And I'm going, okay. So at the end of it, I'm like going, so I go into the lobby to call my husband, who refused to go to the meeting with me, which is fine because I wasn't even sure why I was going. And I called him on a payphone. Once again, so I date myself. There were no cell phones back then. And he said, was it as bad as you thought it was? And I was going to be. And I said, honey, it was even worse. It went on way long, except for one thing. And he said, what? I said, these people, they are dumber than us. They're uglier than us. They're making more money than us. And they're having more fun. And he goes, do you want to do this? I said, I think I might. He goes, well, that's fine as long as you don't talk to anybody we know. which is not exactly, germane with how you do network marketing.
Right.
But, I did everything wrong till I learned to do it right. And what I learned is you never doing anything wrong, you're just getting experience. And then I learned to trust the process. And then I did the smart thing. I found a bunch of people that were making the money that I wanted to make and started asking them what they did. And they
Mhm.
were generally all telling pretty much the same process. Some people liked videos and some people liked audios, but here's what I learned um, about this business, really about any business that is more dependent on your ability, willingness to go do the job and learn the deal than most of the things we think are necessary. It's not about credentials, it's about, adaptability and willingness basically to go out and talk to people. And I finally nailed it. In the first 2 years, I didn't make a lot of money. I didn't lose a lot of money. I didn't lose any. I made some. I invested it all in education. I was serious part time. I was learning the business, but I hadn't given up what I was doing, and it was paying for itself. And by the
Right.
end of 2 years, um, in the network marketing, I was making mailbox money, residual money of six figures a year, and I've never made less since. And after 11 years, that went to seven figures a year. Back in 2001 was my first $1 million a year in network marketing, which in 2001 was a little bit more rare than it is today. But it was, I like the way they do it today. But here's what I learned. I finally figured out everybody today is looking for the perfect avatar. Who's your avatar? And I think at one time it was, who's your ideal customer or ideal business partner? And I think before then it was, you know, who is the person most likely to succeed in this type of thing? What's the personality type you're looking for? And even before that, it was who would you most like to work with and why? And that's kind of what it is today. And all those other things just went on in between. But I finally nailed the avatar. And I figured out that the perfect network marketer is relatively older and experienced, except when they're young and just starting out.
Uh-huh.
And it really, people in the country do really well unless they're from the city. And I found that people that have really strong education brought a lot to the table, but then there was people that had no formal education at all, but have pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, and they did really well. And I found that women excelled, um, and so did men. It really was. It came down to this business is the greatest democracy you'll ever meet because it doesn't care who you are, where you came from, what your background is, what your pedigree is, what your education is, and what your resources, financially or otherwise, are. That is the most exciting and wonderful thing about it, and it's the scariest thing for people that need excuses as to why they're not succeeding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Absolutely.
was the
Oh,
beginning, and a million things have happened in between.
and that is so good because that right there, guys, if you just heard what she said, what is holding you, like what belief system are you holding on to about yourself? When you just heard somebody say you can be anything you want to be here, no matter who you are, what belief system is holding you back, right? Tonight's conversation, guys, and thank you for resharing that story because even I haven't heard it for a while and rehearing it, like it made me laugh. It just was one of those stories, like when you can have impact like that that sticks in somebody's mind for that long, right? Like a brand new mom just trying to figure out the industry on my own. I had no support, I had no upline that had anything figured out. Like I was like you, I did everything wrong until I did it right. But seeking out these voices, guys, and listening to somebody who has done the work. You don't have to have Lisa as your upline in order to be able to say, okay, I can be successful. You can just listen to the words that she's speaking tonight.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
I never had the world's best upline. And what I mean by that, and I don't want anybody to think I'm not speaking to personalities, although there were some personalities I could have lived without as well. But here's what it really amounts to. When my aunt came and showed me that first business, she called me ecstatic because her ship had come in. By the time she got to my house to show me that, she'd been sailing about 5 days. So, what could she possibly have learned in 5 days that she would be able to really train me and
Right.
teach me? how to build the business, but she showed me something I wouldn't have seen without her. So if
Mhm.
someone shows you something that can change your life, that you would, that, and because of them, you have the opportunity to pursue it. If they never do another thing for you, and often they won't because they can't, from where they sit and where you sit, you should be eternally grateful. And upline, having upline that can show you how to do everything, on the one hand, can be really, really good. But we live in a society, if you look at school and people that get caught up in the corporate world, their whole life is a exercise in being able to do what other people show them how to do, and where they really don't have to think much. They just follow the bouncing ball. And that can certainly make you a good living. But not having upline forces you to become resourceful, because there are people in your company that are having the results that you want to have. There are people to the side of you that are achieving what you want to achieve. There are people who have made mistakes that they are willing to share with you so that you don't have to make the same mistakes they did. And the less that is spoon fed to you, the more resourceful you become in finding the resources yourself. And that's a key to success, because successful people are not those who know what to do. It's the people that show up when things have to be done, even when they don't know exactly how to do it. It's the people who are running into the mess when everybody else is running out. It's always where the greatest opportunity is. So wherever you start, whatever support you have, there are pluses and minuses to everything. So I think that if you become good at finding the information, at finding the stories, at listening, you become very good at finding the people who are looking to hear, finding the people who want to hear the stories, finding the people that are looking. But if you're not a looker yourself, you're not going to attract or find a lot of seekers, and seekers are what people you're looking for.
Very much so. I love that. Guys, I hope you're taking notes. That was huge. And in our conversations that we've been having, one of the things that stuck out to me the most recently, and that's why we called this quantity of sales versus quality of relationships, is when it was even, I think it was probably back October, November, and we were talking about how to build an actual big commission check, right? What that really looks like. And we see so many leaders right now are people right now that are chasing the numbers, chasing the ranks, chasing the, those type of results. Whereas when you and I talked, and guys, one of the network marketers, one of the top network marketers that so many people adored and unfortunately we lost, her success was partnered with Lisa, right? Like she was mentored by Lisa and
Well,
just
to
yes.
be fair, she's the most talented person probably that I've ever met, the most natural networker, and she was brilliant, brilliant. And
Mm,
that's Jessie Lee Ward. And she was a delight to work with. She was a bonus daughter to me. She lived with us. We traveled the world together for what I call her high school years, 3 years, and then she was traveling the world, going in one direction when I was going in another, calming down. But um, what Jessie Lee understood was you can define the game within the constraints that are there, or you can let somebody else define it for you. And
mm,
she was brilliant, but when I met her, she was 25 years old. And what she understood was she had the experience of someone who's 25 years old. She
right.
was brilliant. She understood how to organize and systematize better than anybody I've ever met. How to cookie cutter something and how to build systems, because you can't duplicate people and you can't scale up people. You can scale up, you can duplicate systems and you can scale up reach. And she was a master, but she also knew that no matter how much she knew, she'd only had 25 years of experience to her name. So she had a great respect. I used to call myself institutional memory, because I just had been in the industry a long, long time. So we meshed very well. But the reason we were so good together was, as different as we were, our values aligned. You see, everybody's always looking to have anybody in their business. And that's one of the things I want to talk about with quality of uh, numbers. numbers are a tricky thing. They don't lie to you. But if you massage them enough or you torture them enough, they'll tell you anything you want to hear, because not all numbers are created equal. For example, the most important number in any business is usually the smallest number that repeats the most often.
Mm,
So in other words, that you've heard you've heard the term low hanging fruit,
yeah.
you've heard the term, but we'll take something like McDonald's. McDonald's, the entire franchise was built on a hamburger, French fries, and a Coke. When they launched, it was hamburgers, French fries, and Coke. Very quickly, they added in milkshakes because the exclusive use to the first instant milkshake machine that could make milkshakes and get them out the door fast. So this was it. And their whole thing was how many hamburgers do we sell? Because if it was a standalone thing, it was usually a hamburger. How many Happy Meals do we sell? Hamburger, French fries, and a Coke. Because believe it or not, the kids' meal, the Happy Meal, originally it was just the Happy Meal forever. That was what we all ate, and
Right.
it was less than $1. Now McDonald's eventually, and it took a long time. They resisted, but they eventually decided to go take on Arthur Treacher's and brought on their fish sandwich. They eventually took on Kentucky Fried Chicken and brought on Chicken McNuggets. They eventually brought on apple pie to take on, I think it was a company called Tippins. And so on and such forth. But the smallest number, the number still is how many hamburgers do we sell this month? Because the lowest common denominator covers the largest group of people. And when someone's in your ecosphere and they are repeating the number, it means that they are not just a buyer, they're not a trier, they're not even just a customer. They are a loyal consumer. They are a person that this has become a part of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most valuable number in business. So it's great to chase new people, new business partners. It's so awesome when they get that big package, right? Because wow, look at all this BV you got from one person, and you're going to get that fast start bonus, and it's going to roll up the tree. And these customers, they only spend like $100 points, but this is like 600 points from one person. But the thing is, a customer that smallest number, that $100 repeats every month. That's $1,200, not $600. And customers who love a product talk about it incessantly because it's an easy conversation. Business conversations are tougher. They tend to tongue tie people. One's a process, one's as, oh, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way. It's funny. You guys, I don't know if this is generic and how many people listen in, and I've kept it that way, but I can say that Angel Market's a product that is very universal. And when she focuses on that, it goes like this.
Right.
This is what, hey, do you have this? This is what it does. Now, if you correlate that against a business conversation, which is a process, one takes a lot of longer. And a lot of people get so focused on this side that they forget this side. And I bring this up because the quality of sales is the quality of numbers versus the quantity of numbers versus the quality of sales. Having a lot of sales is today revenue, promotional or otherwise. You may have to start at zero next month, and that's what you're doing. If somebody just buys it with the intention of trying it, they may convert. I hate that word. It may be for them, it may not be for them.
Mm-hmm.
But what typically locks somebody into anything is their experience. And people forget the experience in this type of a business is not just the product and what the product does. It's how they feel about everything connected to the product. What's their relationship with you?
Mm.
Are you somebody, whoever you may be, that sold them something and moved on?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of people today are influencers. They go up, they talk about something, they say they love it, people go buy it, and they're down the road, and that's okay. I don't think people expect anything differently in that scenario. But we're a relationship business that still works person to person. And if you go get 50 new customers and you've got a good system for caring for that customer, that's awesome. Or 50 new buyers. In 3 months, you'll know if you have how many long-term customers you
Right.
have, how many pieces of income real estate, because that's what I refer to it as. Once something that you share with somebody becomes part of their everyday life, they are used to it. It is convenient. The experience is a good one for them. That's money in the bank every single month, unless you do something that works against that, or you never did anything to enrich and
Yeah.
set it up in the first place. Because if the experience goes south, people would stop buying the thing they love most if they feel like a fool doing so. Okay, so
Good point.
that's the one. But you can go out and you can do massive numbers if you build it properly, you figure it out, you figure out how to scale it, and you can do massive numbers in revenue from customers, and that is awesome. Business partners are a different story because you're not looking to only satisfy them in a product and making sure that they know how to use that product, that you know that you connect with them and you see them, they feel seen and heard, that the product got there on time, that following up with that, relatively easy to do for a large group of people. You are now looking at partnering with somebody to create impact and create new groups of people that are going to enjoy the community and enjoy the product. That takes relationship between you so that you can create community amongst you. And
Hmm.
without it, it's just a lot of people all working what looks like by themselves together.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I think what I experienced watching you guys build your last company that you had crazy, crazy success with, and I know that you do so many multiple things. And guys, her business mind isn't just network
Not in
marketing.
network marketing. I mean, I do
It's
a lot of things. I help a lot of companies and I do
yeah.
consulting, but in the field, actually out there working, I've taken years off between opportunities and I keep my checks for the most
Yeah.
part because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's worth it and then some. But if you're really going to go build, you are signing up to go work for other people. And a lot of people don't understand that.
So true. Yeah. Yeah. We say it's our freedom and we build our
So
life.
when it comes to recruiting, I'm very discriminatory with whom I recruit.
Yeah.
Now, I talk to everybody, but who I actually want to sponsor or invite to, that's very small. I'm very discriminating there. You know why? When I bring somebody into my business and I sign them up directly,
Hmm.
I am agreeing to go to work for that person. I have just signed on to work for them. They
Right.
don't work for me. I work for them. I'm very particular about who I go to work for.
No, so much gold right there, guys. And that is something like our team, especially, they've heard those very similar words come out of our mouth. And, it is, we're kind of learning our lesson from having spread ourselves thin to so many people that this year it's like,
Your
okay,
heart's in the right place, but there's only one of you. You can't scale up a person. You can
right.
only
Yeah.
compress time.
Yeah.
And you have to put your efforts where they're most deserved and most likely to create the greatest impact.
Exactly. And that's the thing, right? You want to help everybody, but if everybody doesn't want to be helped, you work with the ones who are really the ones. And I love that. I love that you can choose that. When we watched you build last time and what you were saying to Paul and I on that first call was about the auto ships and about the customers and about the social selling. But what I saw with what you guys did was you took the social selling aspect, but it wasn't just a bunch of influencers that were just selling and it was one and done. When you were just talking now about building that relationship, so many people come into this industry and they just rely on customer service and they rely on the corporate office and it's like, oh, I made the sale, I'm done. I don't need to touch that again. But what
And
you were just saying is the complete opposite, right? And that's
making a sale is not really the same as acquiring a customer. And we are in the customer acquisition business. And in order to acquire and retain a customer, you have to first acquire it. Then you have to want it to you. the customer needs to adopt the product usage. See, it all comes down to retention comes down to adoption, understanding. Do you adopt the product? Do you know how to use the product? Do you understand it? And where are you using it consistently enough to make an informed decision as to whether it is something that you want to use long term or something that you don't? And that's all has to be framed in what happens when a person starts, if that makes any sense
Yeah.
whatsoever. It's interesting. I was trying to see if anybody had any, questions or comments, and I have this, but I'm so used to the webinar and not the, oh, I'm sorry, what the meeting, what's
I
one?
know we the meeting version because we do this as an industry call. We
No,
went to
I
the
know,
webinar
I've
version.
done this as well.
Yeah, so the
I,
people,
I forget how the screen works. So I was
yeah,
trying to see if anybody had any questions, anything they wanted us to discuss, because that's the thing about,
Q&A is open, guys. If you want to
I
put
can
in
cover anything you
Lisa,
like, but typically
absolutely.
people always have the question they wish they could have asked, and I'm here to tell you if you have one, you can,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
will do my best to answer it. Let me tell you in non-network marketing terms, the life cycle that people miss of business.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody thinks they start in the middle. And I'm not saying some people don't start with the business right away, but first and foremost, everybody's a consumer, except not really. Here's how it goes. People go from try-sumer, they're going to try something, they're going to buy it. Forget network marketing. Let's go. Oh my God, that new product that Lancome put out. So you're going to go and you're going to buy it based on someone's referral, and you're going to try it. So now you're a try-sumer. If if you have a good experience with it, you say, you know what? I like how much is in this bottle. I like what it did for me. I think the value's there. I like the result. I think it's cool. I'm going to stop using that product I was using from Revlon, and this is going to be my new eye cream. Okay, so now you're a consumer.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're going to go, just in the course of conversation, you're going to go out, you're going to share with people. Oh my God, Lisa, I have to tell you, the friend of mine told me I need to go get this new eye cream. I told her I liked my eye cream, but I went and got this eye cream. It's amazing. You should try it. Now you're a share sumer. And for the longest time, the only industry that would ever reward you for being a share sumer was network marketing with things like free product or things like that. Today in the real world does it too. There's always a link, share and earn points, share and do this, share and do that. I think I saw it the other day for like a barbecue joint. And I'm going, well, wow, how, I'm gonna earn free ribs now. Um, that's a should I, and then you say, you know what? Hey, what I could make some money. My friend told me that if I want to just not share this to earn just to earn some free product, that I can actually go share this and I can make money sharing this product that I love. Now you're a sell-sumer.
Mm-hmm.
Or some people would call an influencer an affiliate, but really you're just sharing something that you love, but you've turned it in to something that can be an income stream for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, the next thing is, gee, I bet I've got a lot of customers. I know a lot of people. I wonder if they might be interested in going on this path and selling, becoming a share sumer, a sell sumer, gathering customers, whatever it might be, because now I'm going to be a manager sumer. That's kind of where most people in network marketing, that's what we call the base. That's the base. Product moving out and people building little pods that move out product.
Mm-hmm.
A few people look at it and say, okay, I can take this around the world or around as many as I want. I'm going to go out and I'm going to cultivate communities of people. I'm going to look for people that were walking this path, for those that can see a bigger picture, that want to create impact, that want something different in their lives. And it doesn't take many of those. So it's really a circle. You walk the circle, you invite other people, you walk the circle with them, they invite other people, they walk the circle with them. And so many people have this idea that it's linear. I join, I get a couple of people, that are going to go make me money, and I get to exit stage left, and they're going to keep working, and my checks are going to keep coming. And wow, doesn't that sound amazing?
Yeah.
And that does happen to a degree, but those of us that have long-term residual checks, I don't keep, I love to recruit. It's the lifeblood of business. But I have businesses that I have substantial incomes that I have not been on a stage or recruited anybody or actually been a relevant part of that business other than to support the people that I brought there that are now running it. I now support them for over a decade.
Yeah. And that's really
That
something I'm
means you're
learning from you
building something,
along.
large endeavors are built by communities of people that have relationships of trust because
Yeah.
business individual achievement in business going out and that grows at the speed of belief. But so your individual ability to go from I've never done this before to okay, I'm going to talk on a stage, I'm going to make that phone call, that grows at the speed of your own belief. But businesses that involve other people grow at the speed of trust.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people operate in business, and this is what I mean about quantity versus quality. What I call they operate in trust theater or simulated trust because they use scripts, not suggested language, not the language that you use to follow a path. They use, let's say, all these scripts. Scripts simulate trust because you don't know what the other person's going to say on the other side. And they're agenda based. And even if people originally think it's directed at them, ultimately they will figure out that it was sort of scripted, and that they sent it out to a bunch of people and it wasn't personally about them. Or when you get something that says something like, I noticed that we both follow the same person and I thought we might have something common. No, you went to that website, you put down every person that ever liked the page and sent this. Once people figure that out, no matter when in the process it is, they'll never trust you.
That's exactly true.
And
Yeah.
in long-term businesses, that which is sustainable and has longevity is always built on trust. So there's trust logic. There's the logic of operating in trust mode.
Mm-hmm.
And there's trust theater, which is simulated trust, which short-term can create a result, but long-term collapses. So one moves faster, perhaps, on the front end. One builds something that lasts longer on the back end. And then you have to look at, well, where is the parallel? Well, today, more than ever, because technology gives us this reach, it gives us this ability to take a message further, faster, wider, cheaper. We're doing essentially for free or thereabouts on a Zoom. I mean, we pay for them, but it's minuscule and where people can watch us all over the world for less money than we used to pay for one conference call for 100 people. We spend less than that in a year,
Yeah.
on the tools, and many of them are free for
Yeah.
people just starting out. 40-minute webinars for no money, until you grow. That was unheard of. So if you've got scalability and you've got reach and you have the ability to take a message further, faster, more inexpensive, if not free, around the world and back again, then the only thing that matters is what message are you amplifying?
Mm-hmm.
And in the past, people would make these short-term decisions because it was so time intensive. But today, if you're amplifying a short-sighted message to get a sale today versus a message that is truthful, trustworthy, and resonant, which means over time, people will start to trust you because because the song doesn't change.
Right.
And over time, it can grow to so much because the amplification is so much greater today in the ability to truly grow exponentially. Why take a short-term solution that isn't going to buy you anything but a few dollars and long-term headaches? So that's what I'm saying is if you build, always move forward. You don't want to wait on people, but if you're truly building to trust and to logic and to putting yourself in the other person's shoes and building not for what you think you need to say, but saying it in a way that your audience understands what you're saying and can take a true read on what you're saying. Why would you do it any other way? It doesn't make sense financially. It doesn't make sense emotionally. It doesn't make sense if you want less stress in your life. It just doesn't make sense.
I
Oh,
love.
Kathy. Hold on.
Yeah, Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. She was back from the clubhouse days too. I love what you just said because I I personally tend to I when you just said that about they're gonna figure you out at some point if you're not being genuine in the conversation. They're gonna figure out the reason, right? And that's exactly how I feel when people approach me that way. So I am a more direct, but because it comes through genuine, it works for me, right? So I always like work with my team on what is the genuine conversation? What truly are you feeling like and going with that? But Kathy's got a great question.
I see it. I
Yeah.
want to answer both of these if that's okay.
Yes, you go for
I'm
it.
going to click answer live because I want to see how this works. You would like to answer the question live? Yes, I would. Okay, so I just go talk, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I thought
don't
it
think
was
I
gonna
don't know
like
if
pop up
everybody
the
can see
question or
the
something.
question. Yeah.
Okay, Kathy, how would I relaunch? Oh, I hit the wrong button. Hold on.
That's okay. That's
There
okay.
we go. I wanted it to go to the side, which it now did. Okay. Um, well, by telling the truth, you've seen me do it with my Hacking Happy group, for example, which I have to do it yet again. There's always going to be, at the end of the day, what you're really looking for in your life, in your business, is people that you resonate with. Because if you resonate with somebody, you never have to worry about how to say it, just what you're saying. You never have to worry about how anybody's going to respond because the people that respond differently are not your people anyway. Because at the end of the day, I don't think people intend to be transactional, but there is a difference between being when you transcend. I'm sorry, there is a difference between resonating with people and being impactful with people and performing for people. And when things become performative versus when they become performative versus authentic, they lose the ability to be transformative. So you can be, and that's really what it amounts to. It's either performative or transformative. So what you tell people is exactly what you just said. I took a step back because I couldn't show up.
Right.
It wasn't that I didn't want to. I couldn't because this willpower nonsense or this, just rise to the occasion. We do that till we can't.
Right.
And I think we do it far too much and push ourselves too far because there is nothing wrong with being human. You know what you do when you're human? You give other people the permission to be human as well. And anybody who can't understand it, I don't know, something about the glass houses and all that, they're not your people. And you don't need an army. You can go in front of you don't need an army. I could go into a group tomorrow that has 1,000 people in it, and I'm going to go forward if I truly believe in what I'm doing by myself alone if nobody wants to come with me. But if I go ask the question, the law of numbers, 2% response, 2% of the people are going to raise their hand no matter what I say and say, yeah, I'm in. But then there's the people that are going to hear it. And instead of thinking all the things you're afraid of, which many people will think, if you're afraid that some people are going to lie about you, misunderstand you, credit you wrong, talk behind your back, call you lucky, stop being afraid. They will. It's going to happen. And nothing you can do can prevent it. So think of it this way. Would you rather have the people that are really your people like you? And the people that, if you weren't so busy worrying about what they thought, you realize you don't really care much for them any more than they care for you. Which group would you rather have walk away? Because you're not going to keep them all because they're so different. So if you're performing, what if you impress the wrong group? What if you chase away all the people that would have been there for you because they're vulnerable and they respect your vulnerability and they want to be with somebody who's willing to be honest, forthcoming, and truthful because they figure this is a person I can build something real with because they'll be real with me? What if they're put off because you come off so polished or you have a great script that all these superficial people that you really are not going to build great things with anybody anyway, they're the ones who stick around. So to me, plant your flag. This is what happened. I feel bad that other people are impacted, but I'm not going to apologize for it because certainly everybody knows I didn't choose to go into a depression.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you would tell people. But here I am, and I'm going for it again. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this because I believe in it. I'm going to lock arms with anybody who wants to do it with me. I'm going to help and support people to the best of my ability. And I'm going to be stronger for it because it's one thing to go do and work and have everything work out when everything is going your way. It's quite another when you've been kicked down a few times to get up and go back again. And I'd rather bet on the second person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what is you learn who people are when they go through adversity or when you go through it by how they stand by you. Don't ever trust who somebody is when everything is great because you have no idea.
And that
You'll
can
never
be part of the healing process too, even for Kathy, right? Like to come out and be so honest allows her,
exactly. If you can get on that, just go tell them.
yeah, and
I don't
allows her,
know what we're working, but I'm interested.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's go through this together and get stronger together. Absolutely.
Now I want to answer Jerry's question because this question is the crux of the question that I reject on its premise that everybody asks in network marketing. I'm going to tell you why. If I was 3 weeks into any business, and I'm 37 years, 38 years now into network marketing. And this is just reality. I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars in network marketing as a distributor in commissions, also over here consulting and everything else. But really, I've been doing it a long time. But 3 weeks into any business where I love the product, I'm telling the story about the product and what it's done for me over and over and over again. My biggest success, that company with Jesse Lee, I never ever did a presentation with the comp plan to a group of people who had not tried the product in my entire time there. Here, half of our recruits were always from customers. To this day, 95% of our orders come from customer accounts. Not all the revenue, but 95%. So I'd be telling the story over and over again because when you say how long does it take to reach $10,000 a month, it's impossible to answer because it's not a linear thing. It isn't a job. Network marketing isn't how long you've been in the business. It's how many contacts you've made,
Yeah.
how many phone calls you made. The person who connects with 5 new people in a month is going to make less money than the person who connects with 5 new people in a week. They're going to make far less money than the person who connects with 5 new people in a day. Because the person who connects with 5 new people in a day will connect with 150 new people in the month. The person who connects with 5 people a week will connect with 20 new people in a month. The person who connects with 5 new people a month will connect with 60 people in the year. When you project that out exponentially, even if people are duplicating you at only 20% of your efforts are their efforts, well, if I'm talking to 150 new people a month and I can even get 20 or 100, not all personally, sometimes for other people. But if I'm personally part of getting 150 new people a month to consider what I'm doing, and that doesn't mean they watched a video or they went to a meeting. I mean, went through the process to the point that they made an informed decision at the other side.
Mhm.
And all the people that I'm working with, that not all the people that have signed up, not all the people that said they want to do something, but all the people I'm actually working with duplicate my effort at even 20%, that means that all of them are involved with helping at least 30 people a month go through the process, whether it's for themselves or helping a teammate or doing a call for a small group or whatever it is. So if you take that group and you replicate that out over a year, the person over here is got a business that has got, is they're just years and years apart because it's a multiplication of contacts, not time, or more importantly, what you do at the time. Also, we get paid on volume. So I can look at any comp plan and I can show you a multitude of ways within that comp plan to earn $10,000. But $10,000 a month goes back to that smallest number that's repeated over time, has the greatest impact. Because the only way to guarantee a $10,000 consistent income in anything unless you have a job where someone's paying you that per month to work. But in any business, network marketing or otherwise, is if your subscription base, whether you be Verizon or Amazon or AT&T or network marketing, that would be your smart chips or your say subscribe and saves. When your subscribership numbers, volume wise, this much volume the company in subscriptions pays me X.
Right.
So if I look at any comp plan, I can say that if your subscribers do this much volume in a quarter, you'll make $10,000 a quarter. If you have enough subscriptions multiplied monthly and to do this in a year, you'll make it in a year. If you have enough that are spinning this number every single month, you'll make it in a month. If you have enough that are doing it in a week, perhaps you're in a binary compensation plan that has a weekly aspect to it, although that's a little bit different, but then you would do that in a week. So it's really how much volume does it take and what configuration to generate $10,000. That'll make you $10,000 one time. If I sign up 27 new people, and the fast start bonus is $379.85, I'll get $10,000. If I sign up 10 people who all get the big package, I get a $500, I get a $150 bonus, that's $1,500. When I help them replicate, and I've got a total of this many new packages on the fast order bonuses that came into my business, I made $10,000. But that doesn't happen the next month. So the only number that is a sustainable per month income is the one that comes from the subscription base.
Right.
And that's how many times you spin it. So for the sake of argument, if it takes $100,000 in total revenue to the company, lined up in such a way, whatever the configuration of your business is, that would pay you $10,000 a month. When that revenue in that configuration happens once a year, it's $10,000, maybe paid out over the course of the year. When it happens once a month, once a quarter, it's $10,000 a quarter. When it happens once a month, it's $10,000 a month. Did that help, Jerry?
I'm sure it did. And Jerry, you can definitely comment and let Lisa know, you're being grateful for that value that she just delivered. Guys, breaking down those numbers is something that usually will happen at a higher level once you really start to understand that. But she just gave you something right now that I want you to absorb and understand right now, that consistent volume. And Paul and I talked to Lisa about pushing past that goal, right? Keeping in momentum because we know every month auto ships are going to fall off. So it's not just, okay, I'm
Oh,
setting
no,
my
no. You're
10,000,
always acquiring,
going
always.
past it, right? Yeah. And pushing past. So, okay, if I'm setting
Oh,
my
and then, because then it's how do you double it? Well,
right.
if you
Yeah.
want to double it, this number, if $100,000, per however long it takes yields 10, what is 200,000 yield?
Right. Yeah.
20. And it gets bigger the more people you have that join your business.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you got it, Jerry. I just want to make sure because usually I draw that out and I was confusing myself a little bit. So
Whoa, so good, Lisa.
translate the confusion.
We're gonna have you on again. I wanted to ask just one last question, and I've got so many more. Like I wanted to go into global, but we'll do that next time. We'll go into the global side of things next time. One thing that popped up when you were talking about, really having those happy people on the products and the whole like progression that they go through from a try customer to it, all of that. What expectations do you set for people? So a brand new person coming to you right now, say you had a product, it's a lifestyle product. It's not a quick results 30-day thing. What is your conversation with them? Because so many people are so
I'll tell you in my ideal world what I like.
yeah,
Especially, I'm not saying, see, I don't evaluate products by cheap and expensive because
right.
I evaluate them by um, the ingredients are good enough, meaning, and I'm not good enough for me necessarily, but there's a lot of products that are inexpensive that work.
Hmm.
You know, there's, a Volkswagen and a Mercedes, they both drive. And I'm not here to tell you that either one is better for you. I would say, you know, everybody knows what it is. Now, there's also the car that doesn't work. So we're not talking about any of those because you wouldn't catch me near those. I like premium products. Premium products are when they are not necessarily, we all shop at Harrods and we fly around on jets, but I like products that are relatively clean, that have high grade ingredients in them, that will stand the test of time. The fine line between, I like true value in the products. That's why I like premium products. I've used some products that a lot of people would say are very expensive, and they're not. They are not necessarily affordable to everybody, and there are other options, but the value in the performance is there. I've also used products that have ridiculous price tags on them because people thought it was snobby. They liked the name brand, and I can tell you they were absolutely not worth it. And there were things I could find that were a third of the price that were probably better.
Uh-huh.
But all that notwithstanding, I like people to be able to experience the product. It's all about the experience. Products are experiential. It doesn't matter how much science there is. Let me rephrase that. You can give people all the science that there is, and there can be a ton of it, and it can all be accurate. You can, and most good products have that. And you can put them on the phone with, or share, have all the testimonials in the world shared with them, and those are great too. But none of that can actually create an experience for somebody to what it would be like if they use it, because their story, their own story, is going to be different, perspective, and better.
Mm-hmm.
So my ultimate goal is always to get somebody to agree to experience the product. And you want them to agree to experience the product for as long as is necessary based on your best known numbers. Like I've tried products where people tell me, um, barring anything, like try it if it tastes, if you hate the taste, if it doesn't agree with you, it's one thing. But assuming that all things are being equal, some products it takes on average about 30 days to get a good result. Some products people will feel something in a 10 and 12 in a 2 week trial. And if they will, sometimes with a premium product, it's great to let people start with a trial where they can start with a lesser amount so that they can have a feel for it. Sometimes they don't want to go off the deep end, as they would put it, and buy the whole Megillah. But at the end of the day, what you're asking, what you want to do is you want to frame people's expectations. So it goes something like this. And I'll use the product I sold with Jesse Lee without saying what it is. I'll take you through that process though. I would say, Angel, a lot of people get started with our product just because they want to make sure they can tolerate the taste and it doesn't bother them, yada, 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 with a 10-day trial, which just like you, because that's what she said she did. Now, assuming if you don't like the product, you don't like it, there'll be nothing left to talk about. So I got that. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But let's say for the sake of argument that you do notice something, that you feel something, that you can see something. Based on that, I want to be upfront with you. It takes anywhere from 45 to 60 days of usage on this product to get the full measure of the experience. Are you willing to invest 45 to 60 days so that you have enough information to decide if this is something that you want to be a permanent weapon and a permanent part of your toolkit for living a better life?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all anybody's looking for. Everybody's out there looking for pieces and tools to put into their toolkit to lead a better life.
Mm-hmm.
To feel better every day. Aspirin is something you have in your toolkit when you get a headache,
Mm-hmm.
right? And most people are willing to do that because you're asking them, if you hate it, you hate it. But if you see anything at all, are you willing to invest 60 days in yourself? If the quality of your life is improved by a product that you are using, are you going to give that up?
Right.
That's really where you're getting people to go. They're looking for things to improve the quality of their life in some way. Sometimes Instacart. With all the things from the pandemic that I couldn't wait to say goodbye to, I kept Instacart. Well, Instacart is not a life-changing product in many, like the products that we share in this space, but it is so convenient in my life. It has been transformative in my life. I friggin' love Instacart.
Do.
But initially, until the pandemic, where it became almost necessary.
Yeah. Hmm.
But before the pandemic, I had the free account that you got. I don't know, maybe I don't remember. Maybe it was Grubhub I started with for delivery of food or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah, that was what Instacart was the same thing. But Grubhub, I got a free account with Amazon. I never really used it. Like instead of having to pay, they deliver food because I live in Dallas. I mean, I was used to driving and running to pick up food on the corner and everything else. The only thing I thought of getting delivered was like pizza. Do you ever remember getting anything but a pizza delivered?
Exactly. That was it.
You know,
Maybe
but,
Chinese, maybe Chinese sometimes.
but I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, but I love it. It's
Yeah.
transformative in my life,
Hmm.
and so Instacart has become because if I'm in the middle of something and I need groceries and what have you,
Yeah.
I can get them and it doesn't take a time. And some days I love going to the grocery store. So you have to be, if you, that's the ultimate question is if something can improve the quality of your life, is it something that you would want? Or if it can make your days better, how long do you want to have better days? Exactly how long do you want to use this product to have better days and then stop having better days?
Yeah.
But is it worth it to find out? That's
Mm,
all we're asking anybody.
yeah.
I'm not, and I'll bring it down to its lowest common denominator. We're talking about the Acme Widget Company here and my mystery product. Angel, this product, a lot of people have great results with it. And you might be skeptical, but let me ask you a question. If there's even a 1 in 20 chance that using this product can give you radically better days and improve the quality of your life, not help you live longer. Nobody wants to live longer unless the quality of life is going to be good.
Quality. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Nobody is looking to expand everybody's talking, nobody wants to live longer unless they can make their health span equal their lifespan.
Right.
So would it be worth it to you to find out? Are you willing, if there's only a 1 in 20 chance, that you could become a millionaire? Are you willing to walk the path and see if that happens? Okay, well, if you're willing to do it for money, why aren't you willing to do it for your mental health, for your physical health, for your day-to-day existence?
Hmm.
So to me, it's all about making the consumer understand what they should expect.
Yeah.
We're so busy having expectations of what they should do. Maybe if we go ahead and we manage their
Yeah.
expectations, actually do what is necessary to create the best result for themselves. And if they get the best result for themselves, which sometimes may be not to use your product or my product, but we work on the law of large numbers,
Hmm.
not what individual people do. And the law of large numbers says that if we work with everybody to get the best possible results they can get and the best quality of life that they can get, that it's going to work out well for us in the balance sheet of how many customers this
Yes.
end up on the product long term and how many choose to join us in our business.
And what Lisa just gave you guys, when just that circles right back to what she said about, take building that trust with people about this isn't just a one sale. That's exactly how people, you may be afraid to have that conversation with people, that expectation of, oh, this is going to be more than 30 days and you're going to have to buy one more month or two more months. No, you're setting that trust, you're building that relationship, you're building that expectation, you're holding them by the hand, which is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. This was the fastest hour we've ever had on Empower. This is like just so quick. Will you come back? I know we were talking about
Anytime,
Curtis.
anytime. Thank you so much for having me. Anytime.
This was just so much value. Guys, go and share on Lisa's. I don't know if you allow posting on your wall or message her. Just send her a note and just say, how thankful and grateful you are. Post in the Q&A and just let her know. Send some love here. This was just an incredible hour. Next time you come back, I think you're gonna bring Curtis with you too. And I would love for you guys to talk about
Absolutely, I will.
and talk about the global build and talk about the diversification aspect of network marketing. And we talk about multiple streams of income, but what about actual multiple streams of income within one business, right? So,
Absolutely.
and what you did,
Different
like I said, you
demographics, different
traveled and
groups
moved. Yeah, yeah, like you have
around the world and back again.
Are you really? Are you going to?
Well, soon, but that's what I've done in my lifetime. Last year, health issues and things, I was kind of
Yeah.
around the home. And now I have this new dog that
Yes.
you know,
Oh, was that her in the
she,
back? I saw
she
her
was,
walking by.
she was and here's the thing, the guy who runs the shelter, because this girl needed a home. I was not looking for a dog, looking to be a mom dog, looking to own a dog. But he felt like we were the right family for this special girl because she needed a good life.
Mhm.
And he didn't think there was much of a chance. We were the 1 in 20 shot, but he made the call, and now I have the dog. So it does work, even when people use it on me.
We were talking about her rags to riches story. This dog, she's the
Oh
luckiest.
yeah, Zoe, she's got the story, doesn't she? Though I just want you to know that 3 weeks ago, just about a month ago, this poor girl was a victim of domestic violence, a shooting victim who was homeless, found in a ditch on the streets by a good Samaritan and rushed to a vet who donated and did the surgery. She was shot in the head with a pellet gun, took it out from her neck. So she went from domestic abuse to living on the streets, injured, to an indigent for healthcare, to a shelter. She was living in a shelter, and now she has 3 humans, 3 homes, 3 boats, and a partridge in a pear tree. She's little orphan Zoe, and she's gone from rags to riches in a short month.
I love that. That's just such, she's so lucky, and that's just such a great story. I love it. I love that you did that for her. So when we have you back, we'll have more conversations. But guys, and I'm excited. Thank you, Lisa, not only just
Thanks
for
so much
being
for
on,
having me. It
but
was fun.
oh, it's so much fun. And thank you for the personal relationship. And my team is so excited. I know you're going to be announcing different ways people can get
Well,
closer to you.
anything I can help with,
Oh,
you
I
can always
appreciate it.
call on me.
They're ecstatic. And I'm so grateful. So definitely we'd love to have you guys again next month if you'll come and join us
We absolutely
and
will.
share with the community. And guys, share this around. Make sure your teams get this value, no matter what company you're in, no matter what. Like this is just pure value. It feels like the old clubhouse days, except I actually get to see you.
Yeah, well, given how I look today, I wish it was the old clubhouse days and you did
No,
bring
you
me
look
into the
beautiful.
group.
You
I'll see
look
you soon,
beautiful.
darling.
Okay, love you. Have a
Love you
great
too.
night.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
guys.